I have been taking this camera and putting it through the ropes and trying to see if I can really push the low light ability of this camera. This Hasselblad X2D 100C Mark II with the 38mm f2.8, the XCD lens. This is a really cool combo, by the way. This is essentially my Leica Q, albeit a little bit bigger and doesn't shoot video, but it's fantastic. Now, one of the things about the Hasselblad, or the things that I found were really good about the Hasselblad in low light ability, I was worried that it was going to have some issues with the high resolution sensor, super low light issues, like just really dark situations. And so it was a worry for me. But one of the benefits I found is that little screen on the top that I don't really care about for so long, that having that feature there was quite good. And really, like, this tilting screen is really, really good. This tiltable screen is really, really good. I do wish every single camera manufacturer, including Hasselblad, created the Sony flip, tilt, and flip out. That would be fantastic. I really need that in all cameras. But that's besides the point. The point of this video is to talk about the low light ability here. And just to show you, I was shooting this at 25,600 plus on the ISO settings here. I have been pushing this camera to see what I can get at low light. And rather than me blah, blah, blah about it, here are a whole bunch of photos that I took at Singapore Night Festival, and I just in general over the last few months, low light photography with lenses like the 38mm, but I also used Canon FD lenses and mirror reflex lenses that are like the 500 with a 2x adapter, giving me a 1000 millimeter lens, and also some Canon FD 135 or 200 f5.6 lenses. And I used these, whilst they give you that vignette because they don't cover the full image circle on this bad boy, the Hasselblad, because it's low light, because it's nighttime effectively, we're shooting night photography, it's not really a problem. So check them out. Maybe photos here. What's interesting, really, about this camera is that the low light ability is actually fantastic. The LiDAR-enabled Hasselblad, that autofocus is really, really good. And I've configured my back button here, or this little button right here, so that I can actually bring up the focus, single point, flexible point, whole screen average, whatever those kind of effects, those focusing modes are. I toggle between them for the need, but generally I'm using the kind of flexible focus, the square. I'm using the square on the Hasselblad. I'll put it up on the screen so you can see which one. But what I was really pleasantly surprised about was, even at a great distance, when I was trying to focus on some of these photos, like these giant bird things at the Singapore Night Festival walking across the street, I was able to now focus, lock on, and track the focus until they kind of walked over to me. That's actually really, really good. That's really fantastic. And honestly, I was shooting nothing below 25,000 ISO, most situations. Apart from some of the moonshots where I was shooting at forcing it down to about 200 ISO. Everything else is shot handheld 1/125th of a second or faster, apart from the slower ones where I shot at half a second. By the way, I don't know how these people are getting these 4-second exposures. Like, I'm pretty steady, but I don't know how people get 4 seconds and not have a bit of blur, because the stabilization is fantastic on the camera, but honestly, 4 seconds? Having said that, half a second, 1 second, those, I could get some really cool shots with those slower shutter speeds without a tripod. So you can do a lot more than any other camera. But the point here is the Focus app. The Focus app allowed me to recover. I don't know if it's recover. I think that's the wrong word. The Focus app allowed me to do a denoising, which is available in Lightroom and so many other AI systems. But the benefit for me is, remember, I'm working on my iPad. I don't want to jump in and out of different systems and then copy and paste and then try and migrate it to a cloud. And all of these extra steps are just a pain in the bum. I love shooting with my Hasselblad, using the Wi-Fi Connect via or the Bluetooth Connect via the Focus 2 app, and then downloading seamlessly to my iPad. Because then I can immediately start playing around. I can do some minimum edits, I can do some sorting, cleaning, cutting, cropping, whatever I want to do, all in one platform. And one of the greatest things I found out, because this video is about low light, is that the 25,600 plus ISO, whatever files that I was shooting, when you activate the HNCS purity mode, not detail mode, it applies a cleanup or digital noise is ugly, no matter what camera system you've got. Inside Focus 2 app, with the purity effect, process, that's what it is, sorry, process. With the purity process selected, not the detail, it'll give you a beautiful cleanup and remove a lot of those ugly color noise that really just gets in the way of a lot of nice photos. And that is what I think is the greatest saving grace in this system. It's already fantastic. You already get amazing colors. You already have a reasonably compact camera with low light ability, and now you can shoot at 25,000 ISO clean and a 100 megapixel file with 16-bit, well, I wouldn't be getting 16-bit kind of dynamic range out of those photos because I'm shooting at such high ISO. I'd have to keep it at a lower ISO, but still, it's a medium format sized image. It's a fantastic image. So I really felt like I needed to do a little bit of a public service announcement. I needed to explain this workflow and this finding with the Hasselblad, because there's so many videos, so many lucky ambassadors and whatnot getting copies of the camera for free and whatnot. But as I said in my other videos, I've really gone through these systems and these cameras and whatnot, and I bought them with my own money. And this particular camera, I really am happy with how it performs, because I have almost the perfect camera, or the perfect hybrid. It's definitely the perfect still, but imagine video. Now, I don't know if that's going to burn out the battery, because that was one of the negatives I had with this. Is I did have this camera on most of the time during the night festival in Singapore, and it just drains really fast. So I was taking shots. I took 64 to 160 photos in a short kind of half an hour, 1 hour space. I was a little bit more selective than I usually do. I'm not like spray and pray with like some of these other mirrorless cameras. But I did notice that the battery drains pretty quick. I was still at 45% after a couple of hours, but I noticed a considerable drain compared to some of my other cameras. Doesn't really matter. I got 3 batteries, but I didn't really need to change it out anyway. The one battery did me the whole kind of night that I was shooting. I did have to change potentially in the end if I wanted to continue shooting, but I was really happy with the shots I got. And that's another interesting dynamic with the Hasselblad for me, is that in the past I would have kept shooting and overshot and just shot as many different things as I could, but with the confidence I had with the LiDAR, I felt I could just kind of wait a little bit more. I could kind of stage and frame my shots a little bit more. I could let things move into the scene that I was trying to shoot, knowing that I'm shooting at 30 millimeters approximately. So Anyway, that was my public service announcement. I hope it's insightful. I encourage you to play with the systems. Again, always try before you buy. And if you've got any questions, let me know. I'll try and get back to answer them pretty soon, but I'll try not to be slack. Cheers. Keep creating, yeah?